The company employees eagerly awaited the owner's arrival for a meeting. When Michaela, the janitor, joined the group, whispers and laughter quickly spread throughout the room. Her simple, inexpensive clothes contrasted sharply with the elegance of her colleagues. When the boss finally arrived for an office inspection, a tense silence engulfed the room. Surprising everyone, he began speaking. Michaela, a woman in her 30s, had an obsession with cleanliness and organization that often put her in unusual situations. Her small apartment was a true sanctuary of order. Every item had its designated place, every surface sparkled from meticulous cleaning, and her bed was always impeccably made each morning. Before heading to work, Michaela followed a meticulous routine. She spent a few minutes folding her clothes and aligning her shoes in her closet. The bathroom was spotless, and the kitchen floor was so shiny it almost reflected her face. But nothing topped her kitchen routine. Before breakfast, Michaela scrubbed and disinfected every plate and utensil with a care that bordered on obsession. She not only washed the coffee cup, but also the saucer and spoon, repeating the process several times to ensure everything was perfect. Her zeal for cleanliness didn't stop at home. Michaela worked as a janitor in the offices of a large food company. Her passion for cleaning often led her into unusual situations. She couldn't help but scrub the pantry counter several times a day, even if nothing had been spilled on it. Her colleagues, observing her excessive diligence, couldn't resist playing pranks on her. They deliberately placed crumbs on the counter right after she had cleaned it. Michaela fell into their traps every time, frustrated that her tireless efforts weren't enough to keep the office spotless. She also had a real battle with the office coffee machine. Michaela couldn't stand the idea of a single drop of coffee spilling on the counter. Every day after making her coffee, she would obsessively clean the area. Her coworkers, aware of this, would occasionally spill a drop intentionally, just to see her reaction. Michaela became the target of many jokes and teasing from the employees of the food company. Her obsession didn't just affect her work life. Michaela had a history of romantic relationships that ended because of her compulsive need for cleanliness and order. She always prioritized organization, often neglecting her partners. This had caused her to lose several boyfriends over the years. One day, while she was in a relationship with Chris, a charming and patient man, he decided to surprise her with a romantic dinner at his small apartment. Chris carefully prepared a special menu, lit scented candles, and played soft music to create the perfect atmosphere. When Michaela came home, she was delighted by the surprise. But as she looked around, her obsession with cleanliness began to stir. The table was beautifully decorated, but a small speck of dust rested in one corner. She tried to resist, but the need to remove it was overwhelming. While Chris served dinner, Michaela couldn't stop thinking about that speck of dust. She forgot about romance and the delicious food, entirely focused on the imperfection. Without a word, she got up from the table, grabbed a cloth, and started cleaning. Chris, perplexed, watched as she began scrubbing surfaces, vacuuming every corner, and rearranging the decor, completely ignoring the dinner he had planned with so much affection. Desperate to salvage the evening, Chris tried to stop her and explain that the moment was about them, not about cleaning. But Michaela was determined to eliminate all imperfections. Tension grew, and the dinner turned into chaos. Finally, Chris realized he couldn't compete with Michaela's obsession. Grabbing his jacket, he said sadly, "I can't stay in a relationship where I'll always come second to your compulsion." Chris left the apartment, leaving Michaela bewildered. Only then did she realize the cost of her obsession. That night, Michaela reflected deeply. Her relentless pursuit of cleanliness had taken a toll on her life, pushing away important people. It was a wake-up call. After the painful breakup, Michaela decided to seek professional help. She began attending therapy sessions with a dedicated psychologist to understand and overcome her compulsions. During these sessions, Michaela delved into her childhood to uncover the roots of her behavior. She recalled a specific incident that seemed to spark her obsession. When Michaela was about 7 years old, she lived with her family in a modest house. Her mother was a meticulous and perfectionist woman, especially about keeping the house clean and organized. One day, while playing in the living room, Michaela accidentally knocked over a glass of juice onto the carpet. Her mother, visibly irritated, scolded her harshly. Not only did she make Michaela clean up the mess, but she also demanded that Michaela scrub the carpet repeatedly until it looked flawless. This event left a deep mark on Michaela. She internalized the idea that disorder was unacceptable and developed a compulsive need to keep things clean and organized to avoid rejection or disapproval. Therapy represented an important first step, but it was clear Michaela had a long journey ahead to reduce the influence of her obsession on her life. Her job as a cleaner, ironically, aligned well with her condition. As she progressed, Michaela began contemplating how she could evolve professionally, wondering how to focus on other roles when even the slightest disorder still deeply bothered her. That week, the office was abuzz with excitement and anxiety. News had spread that Mr. Marlin, the owner of the food company, would be inspecting the factories and offices. Mr. Marlin was known not only for his strictness, but also for his ability to recognize employees' potential. On the day Mr. Marlin was scheduled to visit, everyone dressed in their best clothes and meticulously organized their workstations. They were all anxious, working with dedication and focus. Everyone kept their eyes fixed on the door, expecting Mr. Marlin to enter at any moment. For many, that day represented an opportunity to do their best at work and impress the company owner. But for Michaela, it was just another ordinary day. After all, for her, every day was about dedication and commitment. She performed her tasks with care and excellence, regardless of the situation. The day passed slowly, and Mr. Marlin showed no signs of arriving. Michaela had already completed her shift and was about to leave the office. She had changed out of her uniform into her regular clothes when someone informed her that Mr. Marlin had finally arrived and wanted all office employees in the meeting room. "But I'm just the cleaner," protested Michaela. "Mr. Marlin insists that everyone be present," explained another employee. Reluctantly, Michaela joined the other employees gathered in the conference room, waiting for Mr. Marlin. As she approached, she noticed the whispers and giggles from her office colleagues. Michaela was a simple woman with limited financial resources that didn't allow for extravagance. While all the other employees were elegantly dressed that day, wearing impressive suits and blazers, Michaela wore her everyday clothes, reflecting her simplicity and humility. She felt uncomfortable with the laughter and disapproving glances from her coworkers. After some time, Mr. Marlin finally entered the conference room. Immediately, everyone fell silent, eager to hear what he had to say. "Good afternoon, all employees. Thank you for waiting for my arrival," Mr. Marlin began. "As you may know, I periodically visit our company's factories and offices to ensure everything is operating according to the company's standards. I want to congratulate each of you for the excellent work you have been doing. Whether in sales, finance, or marketing, the company has achieved very satisfactory results." Mr. Marlin paused and looked at all the expectant faces in the room. Then he continued with a smile on his face. "However, While I was touring the office today, I noticed something truly exceptional. I went through the break room, opened the cabinets, visited the restrooms and the storeroom, and I couldn't help but notice the remarkable cleanliness and organization of the place. Who is responsible for office maintenance? Mr. Marlin inquired, looking around the room. All eyes instantly turned to Michaela, who felt a bit surprised and embarrassed by the attention. Mr. Marlin then smiled and said, "You deserve congratulations, my dear. Your commitment to the cleanliness and organization of this office is remarkable and deserving of recognition. Thank you for keeping our work environment impeccable." Michaela, with a modest smile, expressed her gratitude and felt extremely valued at that moment. It was recognition that transcended her position and modest appearance, proving that dedication and excellence in work were truly worthy of praise. The meeting continued for a few more minutes, with Mr. Marlin sharing ideas and plans for the company's future. As the meeting came to an end, employees began to leave. Mr. Marlin gestured for Michaela to stay in the room. Silence fell over everyone because being called for a private meeting with the company owner was truly a rare and surprising privilege. "My dear," Mr. Marlin began, "I can see that you have a keen eye for details and organization. I always like to provide growth opportunities for my employees, and the company has an opening in the quality and inspection department. It's a department where meticulous and detail-oriented people like you are very welcome. What do you think? Would you accept the promotion?" Michaela was astonished, barely able to believe what she was hearing. It was an offer she never expected to receive. She looked into Mr. Marlin's eyes, and with gratitude and determination replied, "Thank you very much, Mr. Marlin. It would be an honor to accept this promotion and continue contributing to the success of our company." The smile on Mr. Marlin's face grew, and he extended his hand to shake Michaela's. "Great! Welcome to the Quality and Inspection Department. I'm sure you will continue to do an exceptional job." With her promotion to the Quality and Inspection Department, Michaela embarked on a new journey in her career. Her passion for cleanliness and organization took her to new heights, and she became an essential part of ensuring the company's standards of excellence. Over time, her commitment and attention to detail continued to impress everyone, including Mr. Marlin. Michaela's story teaches us a valuable lesson about turning obstacles into opportunities. What was initially seen as an obsession with cleanliness and organization, something that could have been a hindrance in her personal and professional life, ended up becoming a welcomed characteristic in her new role. Often, our unique traits, even if initially considered challenges, can be transformed into valuable assets when applied in the right way.